Good evening, everyone. We are in a Public Art Select Committee for Wednesday, February 2nd, and we're meeting on the traditional territory of the Squamish Nation. There's an agenda in front of the committee. I've included a delegation. We have Stan Matrachuk here. So with that in mind, I will look for a motion to adopt the agenda. Moved by Catherine, second by Sydney. All those in favor, opposed, motion carries. We have committee minutes from last month. Any errors or omissions? Seeing none, a motion to approve the minutes. Moved by Maciek, seconded by Fran. All those in favor, opposed, motion carries. So I actually had a meeting with Stan this afternoon, and I said, hey, why don't you come to the Public Art Committee? Because I think this is a great place to introduce the idea, and then the committee can perhaps talk about the idea and make a recommendation for council on the idea. So maybe I'll just pass it over to Stan. I'm not sure if you brought slides or...
Yeah, I brought one of those.
I will see.
It goes that way, otherwise I can email it to you pretty quickly here if you like.
Let's see where this.
Okay.
I don't know if this computer might not take one.
Okay, what's your email address?
It's K Hamilton at squamish.ca.
I have one of mine, but it's not.
That's squamish.ca.
Anyone got any good jokes?
Not that I can say on
No, that's.
Oh, it's one of those.
Oh yeah, it's like a photo card.
Yeah.
So I do recommend the Twitter account, Trump Draws.
Trump draws?
Yeah, it's worth a check.
Okay.
Draws, like drawing.
We've just started, we're just waiting for Stan to
No problem, I apologize for being late.
No worries.
Executive orders. Oh, yeah. Showing them.
We
People are
literally
drawing
just
little
started.
cartoons like he's a 2-year-old. This is quite special. Yeah, I know.
So
It's true.
I didn't have a chance to go and take a picture of that.
Don't worry, I'll go check after. I just, the extra half an hour came and went. Yeah, I'll check it after.
We weren't sure if it was a autocorrect.
What's that? Oh,
Was it Squamish or Squanderer? We
Yeah,
were
no,
debating it, Terry. and I.
No, totally. I mean, the idea is to play on words, just 'cause,
Exactly,
it's
yeah.
local, but it kind of can be anywhere. This, for those of you who don't know,
Actually, Stan, you have to sit down just because the microphones pick up
Oh,
better.
okay, perfect.
Thanks.
My name is Stan Matrachuk. It's nice to see some familiar faces around here. I thought I wouldn't know anyone in the room, so hello, new friends, old friends. I had a chat with Patty quickly this afternoon about possibly a mural festival in town, and she advised me that there was a public art committee meeting this afternoon, or this evening. So I essentially was just trying to pitch the idea that there's a lot of brown walls in town, and I think that basically that we could add a lot of color. I'm not going to try to read these slides because I put this presentation together about 45 minutes ago.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we can really get a really good idea of local culture in the area, celebrate it, and put it together in front of people to showcase it. Our town is really poised to do well with commuters, and the fact that we all drive somewhere to work, but we all choose to be here at the end of the day, it would be nice to share that with people that visit. So getting onto that end, there's a lot of low quality graffiti in the area. I personally don't really employ that sort of style, but I think that like a planned sort of purposed wall and surface of the building could be very advantageous to the viewer, the local area, businesses included. I also think it would bring up people from the community in order to sort of just create sort of a unified idea that, you know, art and culture can bridge gaps that we are increasingly seeing in the media. And it also, through creativity, we can engage each other. Different pictures can create different dialogues, and I think that that being said, we get to choose the dialogue, and I think our town has a lot to offer people that are visiting. So basically, I'm just kind of talking to you guys to just to consolidate the stakeholders. People like the District of Squamish, the Squamish Arts Council, and now the Public Art Committee, which is very exciting as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, private property landlords approach businesses, and this is kind of what I would like to do in the next little while here, just to let you guys know what I would be doing if you guys go ahead with this idea. Approach community partners, business sponsors, and activate strategic alliances with, say, realtors or radio or media channels. There's a lot of things on social media and such. And then just put out invites to artists in the corridor. There's so many artists from Whistler to Squamish to Vancouver. We're all interconnected through various means, and I don't think it would be that hard to tie together quite an elaborate group. And then after all these things are sort of getting underway, we sit back down, and then we basically make sure that the themes and the artists that are chosen are all community acceptable, that everything is sort of agreed upon, and then we kind of move forward with the sort of execution. These are some of the murals that I've kind of been involved with to date. This mural is underneath Centennial Way. It's about 4,000 square feet. It took me all summer with a couple of good friends, and the lighting's really bad up there. But essentially, yeah, it's an underpass. It was a gray space, and now it's visually sort of stimulating to passersby, and it's now used as a valued center as opposed to some place that someone can write messages or images that aren't as beneficial to the community. This one is on the PacWest building. I'm excited to see this image saved in the future. I had a good friend that was passed away, as some of you may know. But he and a bunch of other people were integral in putting this mural together. And so things like this in the community, as you can see, would just be amazing, in my personal opinion. A long time ago when I first moved to Squamish, I was part of a group of kids and myself that painted the mural on the side of the Fields building. And yeah, basically it was just like I was on the VIA. Well, actually that's how I got introduced to the VIA and then became a part of it later. And with these guys, we basically just painted this wall to sort of beautify the downtown core, which was pretty different than it is now. So, but yeah, and then this is another piece of mural in Whistler that I did with Chile and myself. It's actually the first legally commissioned mural in Whistler. So we're going to try to get it coded so it doesn't get messed up in the future.
When was that done?
2007. Yeah, just prior to the Olympics. And
It's still there?
it is, yeah. Yeah, it's under the Terry Roberts Bridge by the skate
Oh.
park. But yeah, I'd love to see it clear coated so it's protected for many, many years. And yeah, so I won't take up too much more of your time, but the next steps, I'd love to see like a letter of commitment from the stakeholders, so the District of Squamish, or the Public Art Committee, if that's more pertinent. And then from there, we just sort of move forward with the Arts Council, put the word out in the media so that everybody kind of knows about it, so submissions from artists. And then I start using these different ideas to go to business community, the people that have the walls, gather an alliance of people for a roster, and then basically we move forward and re-evaluate like we're doing right now. Speak about the artists, speak about the themes, speak about the walls, and then various, insurances and different things that are, bureaucratically necessary. So, and then that's kind of my short and sweet presentation.
Awesome, thanks, Dan.
Yeah.
Now, you said there was one down in Vancouver?
Yeah, when I spoke with you today, some of you may be aware of the Vancouver Mural Festival that has happened. The Mount Pleasant area has a lot of brick buildings. A lot of them are of a certain style and age, and it's contemporized through art. A common theme with a lot of us, you move into a house, you want to make it your own, you paint it, you make it your own by adding color. I think it's a really beneficial thing that we can do in Squamish to kind of make the town make our own through various different artists, but on a broad scale. I mean, we we have an amazing amount of services, and there's so many people that drive up and down this highway, and I think we can really create some buzz. So.
At this point, you're just looking for some feedback and some support, and then the committee can consider. We do have funds, but we consider. But you're not asking for money at this point.
No, I'm basically just throwing the idea towards you guys. The letter would be kind of the next step in my area. I just want to kind of pitch the guys' idea. I don't want any money. It's more or less just to see what kind of traction I can get around the community. But I figured this was a really quick first step.
That's awesome. Any questions for Stan or comments?
You call it a mural festival, so is there a sort of period of time or set aside thing that would have sort of a walk, or what is the actual festival side of it?
Well, the festival side would be, so it'll be a 2-month span, so August to September, so over a series of weekends that artists will be painting, or during the week, depending. It would be various people, but the idea of this festival, it's like from A to B of a time frame, and I think that it could be activated with, certain events with, DJs or different things like that, where we could sort of piggyback on different things in the community. There's so many events in August and September, so it'd be pretty easy to align with those interests.
So the festival time would be sort of, it would start August, paint at the end of September-ish.
Yeah.
We'll have a couple dozen or 500 paint. No, just
No, yeah, no, to be honest, yeah.
We'd have a bunch of artwork.
Yeah, exactly. There'd be finished products. We could then, sort of have a closing party or something, and celebrate that.
And would those murals last for the entire year and be replaced for another year, or what would happen to them?
Ideally, it would be next year. There would be different businesses that would jump on board. I would love to see it kind of snowball from, let's say, 3 different businesses that get involved, or public properties, to maybe 7 next year, or 10. But it would just be
You just keep adding every year.
Yeah, it'd be dependent on the artists involved, but it would also have to be scalable. I can only the first mural I showed you took myself all summer from June to August, every weekend, and it was a big ordeal. Like, it sounds pretty simple at the outset. I'm like, I'm gonna paint this wall, but when it's down to your, just you doing it, it was tricky. And most people are on vacation. Like, a lot of kids were away. I had plans for myriads of kids, but families and kids travel. So, I think, slowly but surely.
Just a comment, we're sort of considering sort of like a culture art walk event come August, September time. This will be grant dependent, but it might be worth connecting to leverage resources such as an interactive map to display these locations. These are sort of ideas that we're trying to develop as we're writing this grant, so maybe we can connect on collaborating efforts.
Yeah, I think it's that would be super valuable. The things like the Turtle Trail and the different sculptures around town, in downtown core, they all should be pinpointed. Definitely a culture walk for sure.
Yeah, and then the only thing I can say too is if you're gonna, I think it's a cool idea, but then somehow try to manage the walls, because you probably like there's probably only a certain amount of really good walls, and then so you don't want to do all the really good walls the first year. Try to maybe, I don't know, try to save some. That's my only comment, is to try to predict or forecast it. So.
No, I agree. I think right now, there's some key services that are really great in the downtown area, but with all these low density high rises that are coming, and all these developers that we want to build, I think it's just we can count on them to donate some service. So.
Probably start small, just a few murals. Maybe.
Totally, and just get the word out. I'd love to see it just sort of reoccurring on an annual thing, on a theme.
And they could range in like a whole big wall, like the one under the underpass, to a short side piece on some. Like, it could really be quite a range in size. And
the tea house, and I'm not sure who painted it, but it looks great. There's something fresh down right by the tea house. It's a real small corridor wall. There's across from the passport office right there. There's 2 windows that are gray and bland, but everybody sees them.
Yeah.
You could do a sort of year 1, year 2, year 3, sort of list of potential spots.
Well, yeah, and every year we're gaining more strength, people will get more aligned with it, and I think it's a pretty, yeah, it would gain a lot of strength over the long term. Just seeing what was possible with the Vancouver Mural Festival was pretty exciting. So.
Would you be intending to use only local Squamish artists or bringing artists from outside up the corridor of BC this year?
I would love to see North and South. Yeah, I mean, Whistler and Vancouver, they're kind of bedroom communities of each other, so I think that's a pretty good place to start. Yeah, I'd love to see it international, but I mean, there's budgets and, Canada Council grants and stuff. I mean, I don't get ahead of
Banksy's not
myself.
gonna come and do a mural?
Sorry?
Banksy's not
Well,
gonna come
not yet.
and do a
Yeah,
mural?
yeah, exactly.
So you were mentioning the Vancouver Festival, were you a part of that at all? And
I had put a submission in, but didn't get picked. But I ended up working with a friend that had a mural, so I just sort of like was interning and helping him sort of get it set up. So
okay,
yeah.
because there's a contact that I've been able to find in Vancouver that was a part of that. So maybe there's an outreach that I can see of how Vancouver connected in with that festival and how Squamish
And
maybe
put Stan in touch with him too.
Yeah, a gentleman named Andrew Young. He runs a pretty popular art night at the Cobalt, and yeah, he was thinking of getting that festival going.
Okay, so that would be
Yeah.
great if I could get connected.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Any other thoughts or questions for Stan? Generally, everyone thinks it's a good idea.
Would it- Could it plug into the 150th?
It could. I mean, there might be funding because of that,
Mm-hmm.
right? There might be, the sesquicentennial is this year, so Canada's 150th birthday, and there's a whole bunch of funding out there. I know the Arts Council's looking at some funding, and that may be something we can help to see fund it. Maybe that's something you can talk to Carrie about too. I don't know if we've got some other grants. I know there's other groups in the community that are putting in grants, but that might be one. But you're sort of thinking of funding it all through mostly private businesses, corporate.
Yeah, that was kind of, I figured, the quickest route to turn around. I didn't want to stretch myself out too thin with grant writing.
Yeah.
And with a council like yourselves, I'm sure you guys are pretty poised to assist, so and have more channels available. So.
Yeah.
Penticton is an annual one, and it's a much shorter time frame, and there's a competition component of it too. You may want to contact them and see just how they set it up.
Great. Yeah, no, I did. I wasn't aware. Chemainus was the only community I was really aware of a sort of a mural event. Yeah.
What was that one, Port Townsend in Washington?
Down in Washington,
Yeah.
yeah.
There's one,
Mhm.
there's some interesting stuff there.
Mhm.
Had pictures shown to us, who did that, was that you who had gone there?
No, it was, someone came to visit us
I can't remember,
in the bathroom.
yeah, that was really interesting.
Yeah. So I think it would be good if the committee considered putting a motion forward that the district of Squamish support the Mural Festival and basically write a letter of support and help you with your corporate
Yeah.
searching.
No, that'd be fantastic. Just to canvas support and then get the ball rolling. We can sort of reintroduce the idea later on.
Anyone want to move that motion? Moved by Catherine, seconded by Adrian. I think this is pretty cool. I love it when people bring ideas forward.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, we do have some monies here, so maybe down the road we'll revisit it, even if we supply some of the paint costs, or we could theoretically consider that through the committee. But-
Yeah, I think there's a lot of options with in-kind donation. There's a lot of people that would like to see something that's moved forward, so
Yeah.
it's just get out and kick some tires.
Yeah, and if there's any public services, they would come through this committee, but
Okay.
private services, people can technically do whatever they want.
Okay. That's good to know. I will
Yeah.
And
hold
just,
to that.
just so you're aware as well, in the downtown area,
Yeah.
the development permit guidelines allow for murals,
Okay.
so any of those business owners, they're able
Yeah,
to do that.
if they ask that question, I don't know if I'm allowed.
Yeah.
We've
Right.
actually changed the DP guidelines so that
They're great.
they are allowed.
Okay, good. That's good to know.
Awesome, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Thanks for coming, Stan. So this recommendation will go to council now. This is a
Okay.
committee of council, so
Okay.
this will go to council, council will ratify it, and then I'll write a letter. Or no,
Awesome.
Terry will write a letter and I sign it.
Yeah, no, that's great. Perfect.
Okay.
Are
Thanks.
you gonna mention in the letter that it says if it's changed, that the bylaw was changed or whatever to allow them to?
We could include those details in the letter, yeah, that's a
No,
good
I think
idea.
that, yeah, it's super wise, just because, there's a lot of things that the business owners aren't aware of, and they don't want to step on toes, so the easiest answer is no, so that'd be helpful for sure.
Awesome.
All right. Thank you for your time, guys.
Thanks,
It's good to
Dan.
see you.
Thanks.
Familiar faces.
So we're moving on to, the call for artists. Carrie?
Yeah. So I was away at our last meeting, but I know Asia, I put all these together so that Asia could present them to you, and I know she took in everyone's comments, and then attached to your agenda was a link to all of the updated versions. And then she had given me a list of questions that she had inquired. We had to compile this, so I have some updates to some of those questions for you today,
Sure.
as well as some final versions for these artist calls. So for one, for the wall murals, we did speak to Fire, and they are able to move that box that's there. So we can move that, and that shouldn't be a problem. And has anyone looked at, given a look to the updated version? For
I didn't
this,
get it linked
Call
to
for
my
Artists?
agenda, so I'm just trying to look for it.
Okay. I think there was some, just generally what I had heard from her was that there was a change to this introduction, the District of Squamish introduction. There was a few modifications we made there, as well as the timeline was altered a little to reflect us coming to this meeting today and not having them out in January. And then there was changes made to the eligibility. We removed stipulations around experience and stuff like that. So those were generally some of the modifications that were changed, and I think any other specific ones, she had also changed them as well. I can pass these around if you guys want to look at them. I only have one set, so you can pass them around as I go through the different pieces. So in terms of the utility boxes, we spoke with operations, and they were wonderful. They gave us a bunch of dimensions to use so that we can attach this to that call for artists. So we're going to attach, I've put a copy beside you, you should see that here, but we're going to attach, this will be the Appendix A to this call for artists, so they can see the utility box, and there's dimensions for them as well. As you can see, there's a few little, there's vents and there's handles and there's different pieces that may not be able to totally cover the whole piece, but I just wanted to make sure that I spell those out so that they kind of know what they're working with. And then an update for, this was the one on Buckley right near the high school. So I think it's on hold at the moment. I think Asia might have brought that up at the last meeting, and it's just because there's potential for upcoming repairs in 2017. So we'll know a little bit more once the budget is finalized. But at the moment, we'll just put that on hold for now. It's kind of the.
We'll do the new one.
Hmm?
We'll do the new one.
Exactly. And I think we have a number of them right now to work with, so. And then this is the one on Guilford and Clark. Now, I wanted to kind of raise this in terms of what the committee's thoughts were around should we be asking for all the surfaces of this building, and then also their thoughts on, I don't know if you can see, but it looks almost like there's grouting on these. If you look at the photo that it's attached to, or that's on your desk here, you can zoom in. It looks like it's kind of a harder surface, and it's a groove surface. So I'm.
So it's like stucco almost, is it?
Almost like a hardy board, or?
Well, no, it's almost like
Like a washboard.
yeah, like it's almost like it's graded, like it's like this, right? So maybe there's something that we can, there might be having to do something, and see if we can, make that a flatter surface right now, but that was,
Yeah, that would
these
be
were
fun.
images that were brought in from Ops and.
So you're saying it might not be ideal for a,
It's like painting 4 murals.
Yeah.
Paint like every surface.
yeah.
Sculpture. I mean, we could look at making, or see if that could be like sanded down in some way, or there's some way where we could put a flat surface on there, or maybe that's part of the application, I'm not sure, but my guess the better question would be, do we want to see all of these surfaces? Like there looks like there's 2 surfaces near the back, and it's the back and the left side are kind of open, and then the front and the right side have a door and some boxes and vents and stuff like that. So what would be the committee's preference?
Maybe we could just use one large surface instead of working with those surfaces full of details,
Okay.
which will probably have a clear picture. One surface?
Painting the door in those 2 boxes with the
Yeah.
and the pipe.
I'll just choose the left side, I think. We can also send it out and leave it to the creative minds. It's just how we want to spell it out in the.
You can say it one side or 4 sides, and
Okay.
assuming the artist will go and look and go, I'm not painting that side, or not. Is it like really deep ridges, or is it just textured?
If you look real closely, it's I don't know how to describe it, but it's almost like finger grooves. Like it looks like one's in and one's out, right?
It's like it's
this.
corrugated.
Yeah, it's like this.
in the uniform.
That could be
If I
challenge
just-
for a designer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would
I
think
can't see anything wrong with it.
textural
But only on 2 of the sides. Is that right?
to
Yeah.
the
It
flat
looks
ones,
like it.
the more flatter ones.
Which were the
Without
2?
any line.
2 open sides.
Oh, it's a good sign, you said.
I mean, I assume that we would leave it to the artist to
Yes.
see whether
Yeah,
or not this is
absolutely.
something that they can work with, and if they can't work with it, or if it becomes too difficult, then
We can
that
do
is
something else.
something that we are going to have to
Yeah,
Mhm.
live with and work
I
with,
mean, they could actually incorporate it somehow.
right? I don't know,
So we could leave it open to 1 or 4 sides, and obviously depending if it's 4 sides, it would be a bigger project.
Spray paint, like,
Thanks.
Two different pictures. with the name.
So what I think I might do is I might just go out there and see what we're working with, and then make sure that we're kind of describing that in this piece. I just kind of was made aware of that when I saw those photos
Right.
that came in this week. So
So we can leave it, I think what I'm hearing from the committee is 1 to 4 sides, go and figure out, make your proposal. Some of them might come back and just say 2 sides we can't paint on.
we might say it caters towards a spray paint.
They might choose a medium because of that. or-
that's true.
Does that sound good?
And then the last thing I just wanted to confirm with everyone is now that the timeline has been, we haven't sent these out in January, is a month and, a month and a week, 5 weeks enough time for artists to, submit their application? Because that's our timeline that we have now. So the call for artists is,
5 weeks-ish?
yeah.
Is that long enough?
Assuming the word gets out as soon as possible. I can put it in the paper next week. And she probably can.
We want the submissions in by March 20th, is that right?
Yeah, artists like to work under pressure.
It's the
I
only
mean,
way.
I guess, what is the downfall to pushing it or to keeping it? Where did we get March 20th from? and what
I think
would
our
it
goal was just to have it done before the summer started. So in this, the installation's in May, so that by June it's done.
And you could just say initial concept so that they don't get too stressed out and have the whole thing planned out. I don't know, depending on how far you go.
Yeah, at this point, it's just concept, right? We just want like a sketch, basically.
Yeah,
An
we want
idea.
to fill all of these kind of boxes with what their sketches or their designs are.
Oh, we can push it by a week. We can make it 6 weeks if that's helpful.
I would say, yeah, I think it's like if you give them 8 weeks, then everyone's gonna wait until 7th week and then do the concept.
Yeah, definitely.
I think my fear is the same as what Toby was saying though, is if, if I hear 5 weeks in, as an artist, which I'm not, but if I were the artist and I only heard it because that's just when it got to me, that we just need to make sure we give it enough time to leak down
Pipeline.
the pipeline of knowledge. That's my fear.
I suppose if it's 5 weeks from now, basically, today?
No,
or
it's
next
5
week?
weeks from, I anticipated that we would,
Go February 15th.
we would,
Oh,
if we
okay.
approved it here, then I could get it out, start getting it out, start preparing the call, work with our communications team here, send it out to everyone so that by February 13th, then the announcement would go officially. And then March 20th was a date I think I chose because April 5th is our next meeting. And I just want to ensure that I can get all the submissions. So we get paper submissions and we get electronic submissions. So I have to put everything kind of together. So that was the rationale for some of those times.
I think that,
It sounds like we've got.
yeah, I think it's a good timeline.
We'll go with it?
Yeah,
Yeah, just make sure that we push the word of mouth
Yeah.
early.
okay, get it out there, yeah.
Okay. Any last comments that were brought up at the last meeting that I might have missed and didn't speak to and maybe didn't get relayed to me that I should just double check on moving forward?
I think you caught everything. Anybody notice anything that wasn't caught?
I was sort of mentioning this dog kennel fence, if we could.
Okay.
Oh yeah, sorry, I had that as a comment here. Let's just-
Is it
So-
possible to remove?
Is there something else we could
or-
do besides a fence that really doesn't keep anything out?
So we did speak to operations and, or there was an email that was sent out about it. The fence, what came back was fence likely cannot be removed as to protect from vandalism and potential trespass causing harm to the public in the high traffic area, just because it's right beside the multi-use pathway. So there, I mean, we can continue, I think, we can continue to have that conversation, but at the time, that's,
I just had a really good idea for a mural. Like you could put they could celebrate the cage. Like I don't know, some animals in there. Make it look like they're caged in.
That's great.
yeah,
Just
you
look at
could,
it work.
Yeah, there's a metaphor in there.
Big rhino over there or something.
well, because we do have
Or
one
an engineer.
outside
No,
too,
just
right?
kidding.
Yeah.
You can just put the sign blue.
Yeah. Okay, okay. Seems like a waste of money to leave that fence, but that's just me.
Caged animals.
Maybe I'll make a note about the fence in the application, like,
Yeah.
Don't want to lead them too much, but,
okay,
no.
But maybe it could be addressed simply.
Yeah.
to Designers.
okay.
I guess for the BIA update, sorry,
Yeah, go ahead.
is that okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, sweet. So I've spoken obviously to the BIA, which I do often. And yeah, we're obviously very interested in helping out and proposing anything we can. At this point, we really don't have any ideas that will cross between the two committees, but if anything comes up and we have some money, we have some plans, and we have lots of businesses interested, so yeah, we're happy to report, and we're doing a lot of communication between the businesses and getting all the businesses together, so in doing so, we can very easily talk between the downtown businesses at this point, which is kind of nice. So I don't really have much of an update, but that's about where I'm at.
Yeah, it would probably be good to get Stan to go to BIA and present that, because I think there's a really good.
I was gonna talk
you're
to him
gonna make that
afterwards.
connection?
Yeah, I have his phone number
Okay.
in my phone somewhere. Yeah, we will probably take it to the BIA, the home mural project, because I think that would be fun.
Carrie, you don't need anything else anymore on those 3 items, do you?
I think those 3 items are good to go. Or do we need a motion to approve them all and to send them out?
We could,
Or-
I'm not sure we really need one.
No?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're ready to, I've got the okay to move forward?
Go- Giddy up, yeah.
Okay.
If you want to do one, like if you just want to pass them by me just to make sure you've crossed everything, I'm happy to do one last glance.
Okay.
Yeah. But you don't have to if you think it's, I don't need to. If you feel like I just need someone else.
Okay.
Sydney, any updates? Just going around the table.
That's a good question. None I can think of. We'll come back. I'll just give that a thought for a second.
Magic? Done?
No, nothing tonight.
And I'm showing next Tuesday with.
Council.
Yes,
Council
thanks
meeting.
to Toby and her patients and stuff.
We were
And-
hanging it.
Oh, okay, yeah. And people, and friends are helping me out.
Yeah,
But I didn't know
some
about. And obviously Sarah, is it Sims or Symes? Sims?
Signs?
Symes, and my sister Julie, who isn't a resident, but is collaborating on a piece of food.
No.
It's getting there.
And there's a reception that night.
Yes.
Which everybody should come.
Which is
Yes.
the council night.
Everybody-
Except for the council.
Except for the council.
Oh, yes.
But I think you guys should just bust loose and.
It's not a big agenda, we might be able to get there. Which actually reminds me, I was walking by the mural the other day, and it's kind of taken a beating, just the one right out here.
You mean the mosaic?
Mosaic, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I just think the winter's been just brutal on it. And I was just wondering if it's worthwhile having a look, and I was gonna ask Catherine to have a look, because she does this, to see if we can patch it up a bit and fix it and try to keep that.
How big is, I mean, I haven't seen it yet, I'm gonna go look after it, but
It's
how
big,
big is
it's
the
like-
damage?
Is that the?
There's
same-
like, yeah, it's the big
Yeah, and the
rainbow with
brown.
all the, I think it was up with people that came, and there were a whole bunch of kids, or it was some
Yeah,
group
it
that
was-
came.
Yeah, no, I know the mosaic, but how bad is the damage? Is it
There's
all out?
parses of, there's just pieces of it that seem to have lost a bunch of stuff, and
Okay,
we can go have a look after the meeting.
all right, sure.
But that could be something that we may wanna, we do set aside a certain amount every year to
Maintenance.
maintain,
I think
and
it would
keep
come
our
under,
word.
I think it would come under that purview.
Yeah.
definitely.
So it might be something we wanna look at, and maybe what we'll do for next meetings, we'll take some pictures and get an idea of the magnitude of the fix, and, see if we wanna put some money in fixing.
I can speak to the planner who was a part of that process, but I don't know the other connections in terms of the art, so if you guys want to give that to me and give me a
My
plan, then
understanding
we
was a
can.
whole bunch of
It
kids.
was Heather Royal, I think, who
Okay.
was
Oh, was
in
she?
charge of it all,
Or was
as
she?
I recall.
Is she here still?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, so I did.
Okay, well, she might be perfect to talk to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it was a whole bunch of kids, like it wasn't just one
Yeah.
artist, it was like, she just
She would
got a whole
organize
bunch
it.
of people
Yeah.
together. And it was associated with something else that was.
It wasn't
in
up with people, because they
It was
did the
one-
big
they did the
mural.
mural thing, yeah.
Hmm.
But it was
Yeah.
something like that, no, it was like, it was like it was some exchange thing or something.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
Labor.
yeah, it was free labor, basically.
Cold weather's brutal on mosaics like that.
Yeah, like any other year, I've never noticed sort of, but this year, there's big patches that
Yeah.
have bumped up.
I gotta say, I mean, maybe it's just because I like mosaic so much, but when it's like that, it's terrible.
Yeah.
You know, it's sad.
Maybe should we make into antique to start with?
Yes. Make it into an antique mosaic. Yeah. I don't know what the kids would like.
Fran,
But,
any,
yeah.
Andy?
Yesterday I spoke with Hillary at the library about the big empty wall in the children's area, and so she did find out, because she wasn't here when we during last meeting, she'd already gone when we talked about the idea of hanging the 3 banners, the 3 street banners. She was a little bit concerned that that they wouldn't be big enough to they'd be kind of overpowered by the size of the wall. And so, I said, well, it could just be a temporary solution just to kind of fill it in for now. And then she was wondering kind of what the process would be to kind of get in on some of these calls that we're doing to make that be a designated mural spot. So,
Public building, we could absolutely put a proposal forward.
Yeah. and actually I should have asked Dan if he had thought about considering indoor spaces as well as outdoor
Yeah.
spaces as part of this mural festival.
I think it's particularly indoor public spaces,
Yes,
absolutely.
yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, which the
yeah, and we
library
can
is.
make sure we chat with Stan about that, that's a good idea too.
Yeah.
They might not want to wait until August, but it might take a while to get
Well,
something going anyway.
I know that the library doesn't have any money in their budget
Yeah.
to do anything, so they're looking for,
Mhm.
to us to help out, so.
Yeah.
But initially, if we could get, do we have spare banners? Do we have 3 of the spare 3 banners?
We must have
Lots.
three banners somewhere.
So, the information that I got was that was, we were able to give her those banners and we could do that, but, and we were open to that, but they didn't really seem that was, they wanted something more permanent as the option instead of the banners. So there wasn't really uptake, so we never really went through with
Yeah, I
that.
mean,
Okay, yeah.
But it's better than nothing.
Yeah.
Well, I would be interesting just to even just see them up for a little while.
So why don't we,
yeah.
can we get you 3 banners and you can figure out with
Sure.
Hillary to put them up? And
Yeah.
even if they're just there for a month or 2 while they figure out something
Yeah.
else.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think that's great.
The floors also could be used for temporary exhibitions of various projects,
Mhm.
like banners, for example.
Mhm.
So it doesn't have to be anything permanent for 10 years, which will be dated by 3 years.
Mhm. Yeah.
So we could keep on changing.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be a mural, it could be
Yes.
anything.
Well, I have a few
Yeah, I was
little
gonna
things
go
I was
to-
going to
yeah.
share with everyone.
Yeah.
I'll just flip to this one, but what do we want to do with the extra
So we
banners?
asked a lot
The
of
blue
these.
ones?
The blue ones, yeah. I know there was some talk about that, but I just
We
thought that
had-
was
what
something
were
we
we
could
talking about?
talk about today.
Last week about all the banners, someone that was asking about them for a reason.
I asked about
Yeah.
them, but it was just selfish, because if they're gonna sell one, I have to buy one. It was basically it.
So just so you, I think what we've done in the past is we don't sell them for profit in any
Yeah.
way. We sell them for the face value, so what the cost of what each banner costs. We've been able to, we've done that in the past where people have paid the cost of the production of that banner and we were able to give them to them. I know that there's also a company that takes banners and makes them into bags and that was
Yeah,
also.
Sarah's been doing that, I think, too.
So there's ways in which they can be recycled in that way.
Why couldn't we sell them for profit?
Are they brand new?
I think it has something to do with
Yeah.
the financial
The
agreement that we have with the call for artists and.
Oh, with the
Well,
artist.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
like legally,
Yeah.
the right to the banner was only given to you by the artist for that specific purpose. It wouldn't be for
Yeah.
profit sales on extra
Yeah,
banners.
no, I was just
you know,
thinking
yeah.
we could fundraise or something for
Yeah,
more art.
yeah,
I mean,
Right.
you'd have to get the
Yeah.
artist to agree to that, but yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, and it's, in a way, it's kind of a shame. I mean, it's great for her, but they are such great designs. They're designs that could last for years in terms of public imagination.
Yeah.
I think we often, we might give one if our sister city comes, we might give them a gift, we use them for that kind of thing all the time.
I mean, we did go over budget with those because we had to pay for them, so I guess it is more money back into the art pot
Yeah,
in that way.
yeah. Yeah, we could certainly, how much are they each?
Something within the $40 range, so $40 to $45 range, I believe.
we could just sell them.
I bet they'd go in the adventure center like gangbusters.
I wanna organize that.
See if they get.
Yes, I will figure this out.
How many do we have?
Oh gosh, 300, I think 350
Yeah.
each that we were.
Three, but of this is the only one we have extra of, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's the only one.
exactly.
So how many of this one, 100 maybe? 120?
My memory's
Anyway.
failing me about it, but I think there's definitely more than it's either 150 or 333. I can't remember.
Okay.
This is what's coming.
So hold back 10 in case the committee wants to buy one, but I can't see why we wouldn't want to get the money back for, quite a bit of
Okay.
money.
So maybe I'll move ahead with communications and find out how a way we can sell that and finance
Yeah.
and figure out how to
Because I
work
think
that out.
that, I think that would be a story as well in the paper. I think that might be a story as well.
Yeah, the story is the printer screwed up, we got all off color.
Vancouver and Gallery got this garage sale where I bought a bunch of banners. They sell art which is used to be for rent and then no one rented. So,
Right.
yeah, so they had huge sales. So we can do the same.
Yeah. we
It's
just have-
actually quite an event.
Yeah.
There's a lineup to get into.
There was one of the old Squamish banners in the Peak office when I started, and it was just rolled up in a corner, and the editor said, "Take it home, you live there." So it's on my wall now.
Which one's that?
Oh gosh, there's climbing, and there's kind of a.
I did that one.
Really?
That's
Oh,
an idea.
will you sign it?
I think it's the one I did.
Local businesses to buy one at a good rate or something, they might want to hang on a lot. That's a
Yeah, and
We'll let you know when it goes out
Let
and
me
you
know where
can
they're
share
selling
it.
it.
Yeah.
We'll find out, figure it out.
Okay, let's do that.
And just back to the library, do you, I guess what I'm hearing is the two options is either we add another call for artists, or we give them the banner option, or maybe we
I think
do
we just
both.
do the banner
So-
right away. It'll take months for the
Yeah.
call to go out and get painted, so might as well have something up there for.
So do we want to still pursue that though, is what I wanted to clarify.
I think, I see the benefit of potentially just keeping art, changing it up there, but it takes work and organization and doesn't always fit the space, and it's a pretty unique, long space.
And
so-
I know that the library wants it to relate to the children's
Exactly.
area, so it needs to be something playful and
Yeah.
more.
So I suspect they'd want to go with a mural and do something that'll be iconic and there for a while. So maybe just confirm with Hillary, we don't want to put a proposal call on them go,
Yeah.
doesn't work. Maybe we'll just confirm with Hillary that this is the route they'd like us to go, and I think the committee's generally supportive of putting a proposal call out for that if the library wants to do it.
Yeah.
Maybe between Carrie and Toby, we have some templates on what to bring back maybe at the next meeting if they want to do it.
Or potentially included in the stands, Euro Fest.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, so I just think for simplicity, it would be good to have all of these go out at the same time. So I would say have this be, I could type one up really quickly
Yeah.
and put it out. I mean, we have these templates now
If
that
she
built.
wants it,
Yeah.
does the committee see it as an objection to it going out with this group?
Or is that rushing it for the library?
Well, they're ready.
Are they
Yeah.
ready?
They're finished. The children's area is
Yeah.
ready for a mural. That's the only
Yeah.
thing they didn't
I-
have.
I don't have a problem with it.
Yeah.
In fact, it seems kind of sensible unless there's some kind of monetary issue, like budgetary issue.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No,
I think we
it's
have,
a good idea.
I think we have the budget to do it. We also have more budget coming in this year's budget, so.
Well, we didn't use our full budget for 2016.
Yeah.
And we have a new budget for 2017.
Yeah.
So what I can do at the next meeting is bring kind of an update. And just in preparation for this April meeting so that we know what budgets we're working with for when we have these applicants all come in. Because a lot of the way that it's written, we don't fully know the price of all of these pieces, so I mean, we don't know what budgets we're working with, but we do have funds. I think that will more than sufficiently cover what we're proposing here.
So if you think you can get it together for the library, then let's do it.
Yeah, I think
Everyone's okay?
Is that,
We'll put a motion just so it's clear. Who wants to move that we include the library children area wall as one of our proposal calls going out in
With
February?
these three,
With those three,
Yeah,
yeah.
I say yes.
Moved
I'm
by
just
Toby,
worried you're
seconded by
gonna
Nigel.
only get proposals for the
Roll
wall.
for the wall,
And
yeah.
not getting the, that's my only thing. Say. It's, but otherwise I think great, yeah.
well, we also have the one in Brennan Park. So we have the Brennan Park,
There's two interiors.
a library, and then two out and two
Yeah,
interior.
yeah.
Does
Yeah.
that,
Yeah, that would be good.
because we already have an interior one too, so I think that bias is now
Yeah.
already in.
Okay, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, did you have slides from your trip that you wanted to show us?
I do, but I didn't get them together. So
Oh,
I'll
I'm
have a few
disappointed.
fun photos. I went to some really colorful places, so I took some photos for everyone here. But on that note for the artist call, do you have a name that you want to call this? Or, I can work with communications around this, but anything that's,
I haven't thought about that. Anybody? Is not a good name.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm trying to put my mind in post-production. Everything's coming up boring.
Let's work with communications. For sort of our mural proposal calls that we're putting out, this is the first sort of mural proposal calls we're putting out, so. Do we want to call this project anything, like we called it Connecting Communities?
Well,
last
we
time?
haven't picked a theme at all, it's all open themes.
We've
so-
decided to go themeless.
Themeless.
themeless community art. I just thought I'd throw it out there. I didn't want to put pressure on everyone.
It's a good idea, now it's gonna bug me.
What rhymes with mural? Something fun.
Well, you have until February 13th,
13,
so
Plural murals, several murals.
Something
Okay.
plural mural.
like
That's narrows.
Plural? Many murals. Plural.
the last thing I wanted
Oh,
to
yes.
bring to the roundtable was while I was away, this was sent to me. So the city of Vancouver put out a call to Indigenous artists. And I just thought this was kind of interesting and relevant for this committee to know about and maybe, I think we're moving towards that direction, it sounds like, with Stan coming in here, so just wanted you guys to be aware of this and to look at it.
No, I love this idea, particularly in the 150 year, and we're putting quite a bit of emphasis on truth and reconciliation at the district too, so maybe we don't have to make any decisions today, but it's something to think about whether we make a communication with Squamish Nation to say we'd have to do this obviously in concert with them and with their sanctioning and all that, but maybe that's something we do maybe that's something we do in the meantime is we'll just make a connection, you and I, saying committee's thinking about doing something like this, if the committee is, and just to make sure they're on side. Thoughts on, this is the direction we want to go on? We don't have to go on it immediately, it might take a bit of time to move through the process with the nation.
I'd want to know what their plans are already. I mean, because they're going to be stretched between here and Vancouver, and maybe. But, and by the way, I have no idea what this is doing. I can tell it's.
I'm not sure if it's a matter of them being You mean the artists within the nation, you mean?
Yeah, I mean, if there are lots of projects that they're considering being part of, or maybe they have their own plans they're plowing forward in
That's a good
terms of their own
question, we'll ask them,
communities.
yeah.
I just wondered if there was an opportunity, or B, any obstacles because of the amount of planning we've got. I don't know, just kind of, what are you guys up to?
It's worth asking them the question,
Mhm.
and then they can consider it, and the nation can make its own decision
Yeah.
as to
Yeah.
if it's something they'd be interested in.
Well, it may not be something the nation itself is
Or-
involved
or-
in because
or
it's
an
going out
artist.
to the
So-
artist, but
Is that metal?
they may want to,
It's hard to say. It's metal because you can see the trees in the sky.
It's awesome.
It's gorgeous.
cool. So we'll just make an initial contact just to sort of feel it out a bit. Yeah, go ahead.
So again, I have a few items that I do have. One being that the Arts Enhancement Grant, just so that all the artists at the table know, is now open for groups to apply to, and we will be deferring any sort of applications that look like public art pieces. We think we should defer them to this committee and to the open calls that we're about to do instead of going through the Art Enhancement Grant process. So I just want to make sure that
Yeah,
sits well with the committee.
I think that's more appropriate.
So process-wise, what does that mean? That means they'll come to this committee, you present them to this
Well,
committee?
actually, or our jury will, when we intake applicants, if any of them through the vetting process look like a public art piece, then we'll just provide them the information that's already out for the call for artists for these other projects that we've just been talking about. The application closes March 1st, so it will coincide with our call, or the public art committee's call as well.
Okay.
On top of that, has there been any further discussion, or can someone put me in contact with the Audet Museum in regards to the preservation of the mural on the Pac West building?
Yeah, I have talked to Heather Paul, who's leading that up, and I'll put her in touch with you.
Okay, awesome.
Has the mural been damaged at all by bad weather? Well, not bad weather, cold weather.
This year specifically?
Yeah.
I haven't looked at it in detail. I don't know if anyone else has had the chance to. It doesn't seem to be
I
in
would like
any
it,
worse
yeah.
condition than it has been. It's been out there since 2014, so it's taken a weather beating over the years. But it's still in shape. So we did bring this up 2 meetings ago, but there will be challenges in removing the panels off that building. Some of them are coming up in places because it looks like pieces of plywood, and it'll be difficult to remove it off the building.
Warped a bit.
Or probably also worked, yeah.
That's beautiful, it's a charm.
And then the last piece is that the Squamish Arts Council, we just applied to a grant to the BC Arts Council for youth art programming. Part of that grant looks like a visual project similar to Paint Me Play Me pianos, but we're actually considering the idea, and this of course is pending approval of grant funds, but an idea for a camp, our youth art engagement camp, to look like a public muralist camp. And so that might, not in regards to these projects, but maybe we have the kids or the camp coming from this committee and ask for permission to use the space that, for example, is on the dike near the watershed there, as a space to paint or beautify.
Well, we already have that application form, right, too? So
Yeah.
I think you just using that process, that we've already built that application form, so any district property that people are welcome to apply to put any art on there. So I think that would be great.
Awesome.
May I just talk about pianos for a sec? Just to make you aware, I did a story on Stephen Vogler at the Point in Artist Run Center in Whistler, and they just held a fundraising evening dinner and also so that they could refurbish their 100-year-old piano.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, so there's a feature on it in Peak from like a month ago. And and I went down and took a picture of it, and it was falling apart. No, it's not that expensive. Because it would be falling apart if it was.
That's right, wouldn't be
I don't know what it's called. It's like Arnold or something. It's like a man's name. That's the name of the company. Anyway, just wanted you to know.
Cool. Awesome.
They even talked about making it an outdoor piano.
Oh, I see. Yeah, fantastic. Okay.
Any other roundtable?
Well, Andy came up with an idea for the name for
Oh,
the,
good.
for the mural.
But you said, I think we should use the word muralist in it. I like the word muralist.
Yeah.
But I put muralist bliss. I don't know, but that's just to get the
Sure, why not?
get the ideas going. But
Muralist,
muralist
muralist
something,
bliss.
something.
There's
Muralist.
four-
It's
four
a tongue,
murals
it's,
to
it's a
choose
bit of a
from.
tongue twister.
Muralist
It's good.
bliss.
It's good.
Thank you.
Bliss or Blitz?
Awesome.
Bliss.
Blitz.
Ooh, blitz.
Blitz is good.
Blitz is good too.
Blitz is rocking.
Blitz
Blitz.
works.
Sorry.
I like blitz too.
Yeah.
I think blitz is
I'll
better.
give them all to the
Yeah.
communication team,
Blitz.
our experts.
Perfect. Awesome. Anything, everybody else?
Well, I'm often impressed with the bus stops in Squamish.
They're getting there, eh?
Yeah.
It's not art, but it's very public.
Yeah.
And they're
It's nicely
really
designed.
well designed and
Yeah.
made.
They're not cheap.
Awfully impressive. The only, there's one tiny improvement I could possibly can think of. I start seeing the missing home animals glued to the glass walls. So I'll make some kind of a board where people can actually post something instead of seeing those poor cats missing attached to the glass.
I actually don't know what you're talking about, but
A
I'll have
message
a,
board.
I'll have
Like
a
a
better
community
look.
board instead of having just bare glass and they're gluing on lost
Right.
my dog,
Oh,
lost
is
my
that-
dog. and-
Yes,
Oh, is that what's happening now?
Yes.
Because
yes.
communities always
Mhm.
make these things that way.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll have to see, I have to have a look.
Well, the same idea as that in restaurant they start
Mhm.
putting pinboards in
Mhm.
Yeah.
washrooms, so you can express your ideas.
Yeah. Cool. Anybody else? Don't see anything. I would entertain a motion to terminate the meeting. Moved by Sydney, second by Much. All those in favor? Opposed? Motion.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.